and welcome to the first episode of the Value Creator Show. Now, just to give you a bit of context why we're launching this show. First of all, because I simply enjoy everything that has to do with business, tech, startups, innovation, and all that kind of stuff. And I thought it would be really cool actually to share all of the things that I think are very topical and important this week. And more specifically, I think very often when I read something online, I ask myself this question: what does this have to do with me? Why is this important? Could I somehow capitalize using this? Very often news just feed me with a lot of information without even me understanding why I need that and how it could be even applicable to me specifically. This is why the idea behind the Value Creator Show is to choose and curate the most relevant news, I would say, something that you could actually use. And after watching this video, you could say, hey, I could actually launch this. Hey, maybe I need to look into this industry. These are the results, the effects that I'm hoping to achieve, and hopefully some of the things that we're going to discuss in the future episodes of the Value Creator Show are going to resonate with you and maybe even change your lives. I really do hope so. So I prepared 5 things for you today. So I guess let's get started. But before we get going, please make sure you subscribe. And also after watching this whole show, please leave any feedback. Super important. I really want to know what you think. But anyway, let's get going. Number 1, Meta is launching their own AR glasses. Now, this is a very interesting space to me as well, because literally now on the table, I have 2 Ray-Ban Meta glasses. And if you've been following me, you probably know that I always wear those. And just look at the whole presentation with Mark and his team presenting the Orion AR glasses in this fancy aluminum case. That's pretty cool, right? There's not much information available now in general. All we know is that they're improving the screens, they're trying to make things more compact, and this is why everything you see now is just a prototype. But the videos I've seen so far are pretty much insane. I mean, look at this video where just by looking at food, you can actually see, okay, this is this, this is this, this is this. I see a lot of potential for this in education. I mean, imagine playing the piano, imagine learning how to cook, imagine learning, I don't know, how to build, potentially, who knows? But if you think about it and take a step back, who's going to build all of this? Meta is going to provide us with all of the hardware, similar to these Ray-Ban Meta glasses that I have now, to take photos, shoot videos, make phone calls and stuff like that. But this is going to be way more complex. And I see a lot of potential for many developers, designers, and overall builders to actually enter this market. I think if this product is going to become mass market, and I do think so, and there's proof, these are the receipts. I got 2 pairs, and I do think because glasses feel like a normal object, it doesn't feel like you need to have another device in your pocket. I do think this is going to become a mass market product. And once again, this has to do with education, entertainment, pretty much any industry. I think a lot of businesses will be able to actually use it on a daily basis. Now, if you are a freelancer, startup, you're planning to launch something, or you are an agency, I think this is the direction to look at actually, because somehow I do think that Meta is going to be quicker at mass adoption, because instead of wearing a helmet with this whole cord and the charger behind, I do think this is a lot easier, and people will say, hey, this is pretty cool. I'll use these like normal glasses and start doing whatever I need to do instead of using my phone. So I think this is going to be big, and I do think this is just the right time to at least start exploring the space if you're curious about it. But I guess now let's go to number 2 today. Jony Ive is teaming up with OpenAI to create an AI-driven phone. Now, Jony Ive, the legendary designer behind iPhone, now runs his own small agency. I think it's in Newcastle right now, North England. And what he's trying to do now is to totally reinvent an AI-driven phone, whatever that means, because once again, we don't have enough information. But this is going to be very, very interesting, because I think we are at a point where Apple has pretty much failed at experimenting with designs. I mean, look at the last, 7-8 years, there's really nothing new in terms of design. But with the whole AI wave and people understanding that we can now use AI to be more efficient, to do things quicker, and just in general easier, I do think there's potential and a massive gap for AI-driven phones. Now, of course, this feels very vague for now, but let me use the analogy with electric cars, right? At the end of the day, it's the same car, but it's an electric one, and it associates with something new, with something innovative. I think an OpenAI phone potentially could be the Tesla if we take the analogy of electric cars. And I'm very, very curious to see what Jony Ive comes up with. Now, on a more practical note, again, kind of very similar to my point that I was mentioning when we were talking about the Orion Meta AR glasses, I do think, again, there's potential for new apps, new development, because new tech especially, is forcing us to create in new ways. Now, again, using the same analogy with the AR glasses, who's going to build all of this? There's pretty much no one in the space yet who actually understands what's the best UI UX for AI-driven apps. Similar to the whole revolution with laptops and then us having Apple Store and Play Market, we now have a new breed of mobile developers, right? So mobile developers had to take everything that existed on the laptop and turn it into a nice and neat mobile app. And exactly the same thing is going to happen in the AI phone space if AI phones are going to become a mass market thing. And again, how does the UI UX look for AI-driven apps? How to build AI-driven apps for this new phone? It's a big question. Now, of course, we don't have enough answers at the moment because the phone isn't even presented or produced yet and there's no prototype. But what's clear again, if OpenAI phone becomes a mass market thing, there's a massive gap now in terms of at least exploring the market and actually being a design agency for AI-driven apps, being a development agency for AI apps, or whatever it is. I do think there's a massive gap because traditional companies that are doing something in a traditional way for laptops or even mobile now, they're not ready for that whole AI wave because, to be frank, it just takes a lot of time to study and explore that space. But if you're curious, maybe that's a big sign for you to get going. Now, on to the next one, which might not even sound that big, but I actually believe this is massive. Now, Cloudflare is launching a new marketplace that would let websites sell their information to AI models. Huge problem that is happening now. All of the AI models, I mean, most of them, okay, are pretty much stealing your information. Yep. And this is why you have a lot of artists, a lot of production companies being super mad at all of the AI models because basically the space is not regulated yet at this point, and they're just taking your information to train their AI models and then not sharing even money with you or paying you any royalties or anything like that. Now, I've been even thinking about this whole model before I even saw these news online, but I think this is big. We'll put on screen some screenshots or a demo. Now, what you can do, let's pretend you have your own business. You connect the website to Cloudflare's new marketplace, and then you can actually select, for example, OpenAI, Meta, Anthropic, Amazon, Perplexity. I want to sell my information from my website to these AI models, but I don't want to sell my information to this AI model for whatever reasons it is. Now, the massive gap I see in all of this is actually an agency or freelancers helping business owners set up all of this and connect their website to this tool in the most efficient way. And you can go to any business owner and say, hey, I'll help you set up all of this essentially for free. And anything that you sell to AI models, you're going to make basically extra money at no cost. I'm going to maintain and manage all of this, but I want to keep 20% of all of the revenue that comes through this marketplace. Once again, the way I see it, not only allows business owners to make extra money, I actually like the fact that we will finally have this entire bridge where AI is automatically becoming more regulated. You get to choose as a person, as a business, whether you want to interact with an AI model and sell information to them or no. And I think there's a massive opportunity, even if you forget about this idea, massive opportunity around the business and interacting with any AI models. To be more specific, selling information, buying information, curating information, cleaning up information. A lot of the AI models now understand that a lot of the information that they're consuming is just garbage, if I'm being honest. So that's a whole wave over there. So to me, something like this is not just one small startup. I think we are actually entering an era where a lot of the startups will be focused on servicing AI models, if I were to really summarize it. But anyway, if that's something that potentially interests you, I don't know, just get going. Number 4, OpenAI is launching an OpenAI Academy. Again, I know a lot of AI in this video, but I think this is going to be super practical again. Now, OpenAI finally understands that AI, and especially OpenAI, needs to be very mass market. And that's why they're now launching this academy starting in low and middle income countries. And also the model, OpenAI model, is now available in 14 languages, which basically means a lot of local communities can benefit from your products. But this is why OpenAI needs developers, designers, and just in general builders to start building on top of OpenAI. And I guess as an incentive, you will not only get training and guidance, but also they're going to distribute an initial $1 million worth of API credit. So if you're somewhere out there, of course, you're always going to have some costs. You need to hire a team, or if you can code yourself, okay, cool, you do it. But I think there's a huge potential, again, simply because everyone already understands that AI is a thing, but we haven't really built the infrastructure layer in all of the possible industries and all of the possible use cases. And especially because OpenAI is opening up to more than 14 different languages, I think this is a huge opportunity for anyone. We will leave the link below in the comments somewhere, but check it out. Maybe if you're just starting out and you don't have the resources, check out the OpenAI Academy. I think this is huge. If you can use some of their API credits for free, do it. And I hope your startup really grows. Now, the last thing that I want to mention today, which is not actually big, it's pretty generic and simple, I would say. iPhone mirroring. For anyone that is building anything out there, testing stuff, this is huge. I'm, for example, using this screen, and then I've got the second monitor right here. And now using the iPhone mirroring function on iOS 18, I can basically have my iPhone screen over there and literally use my iPhone by using my second monitor. Now, the cool thing, not only you can actually use it, but you can move files between. For example, if you're designing something out there building, you can now drag the object, the file from MacBook to your iPhone. And that means you can test things quicker, you can deploy things quicker, and just in general, it's a lot easier now and more efficient to do things on the go. So for anyone who actually does something on an iPhone or codes or designs or whatever, this is the best thing that actually ever happened. I mean, it was supposed to happen like years ago, but this is now so much easier because if we have a test file, I can now drag it from my MacBook to the iPhone, which I have on my second screen. That's it. Best thing ever. And this is pretty much it for today. I hope you enjoyed. And as I said, we'll keep talking about the most topical things. Sometimes they're going to be big and massive. Sometimes it's going to be as simple as the iPhone mirroring thing. But what really unites all of these news and all of these topics is I'm really, as I already said, it's all about the value creator. I'm really trying to come up and find and curate the topics and the news that could potentially be valuable for you. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please leave comments, please subscribe, and just in general, as I keep saying, have a great day, guys. Thank you for watching.